Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. KidNative, BloodyElbow.com. Jacked around once again by Google. Joined by Eugene S. Robinson, author of Fight. Everything you ever want to know about ass kicking, but we're afraid you get your ass kicked for asking, and his cat, and his dog, and his ravioli lunch. And we're here for the Care Don't Care preview for UFC Brisbane. Frank Mir versus Mark Hunt. Eugene, disclaimer, please.
Sir, the disclaimer. Crybabies and bedwetters united. Do not take offense at being on the don't care list. It has less to do with your skills or talents as a fighter or a man, human being, and much more to do with the marketing heft and weight that the UFC and the Baldwin have placed behind you. And where you can escape that trap, fight an interesting fight, and move from don't care to care, as has happened before with Alex Oliveira, Chris Collier-Greens, and a few other, Paul Felder, and a few other notable guys who, by virtue of the fact that I remember their names in the intro, is proof positive it can be done. But don't come crying to us, crybabies and bedwetters.
Well said. Well said. Is that a teal top you're wearing there? Is that teal?
Yeah, it's called a shirt.
Shirt.
In the circles that you travel in, you might call it a top. But
Smock,
I call it shirts over here.
Rags. I say shirts. Shirts. Eh? All right. So
it sounds like a tube top. Yeah, it's going with my disco roller skates.
Hot. That is the hotness. All right. So we've got a Saturday UFC card from Brisbane, Australia, but it happens in prime time in America. So poor Aussies are going to have to watch this at noon their time. Starts off with 2 fights on Fight Pass, 4 fights on Fox Sports 1, and then the 6-fight main card.
Okay, sorry, do that again, please. I'm old, so repeat it.
So we've got 2 fights on Fight Pass.
Okay.
Then we've got a 4-fight prelim card on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, okay.
Followed by a 6-fight main card also on Fox Sports 1.
So I get reamed. Okay, I gotta.
If you don't have Fox Sports 1, you are out of luck. Yes.
I gotta find Fox Sports 1. Okay, all right, got it.
All right, so let's dive right into this. We've got 2 fights on Fight Pass. I predict you're going to care about one of them. First up, lightweights Alan Patrick and Damian Brown.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't care either, although I am somewhat curious.
This is my tribute to Nate Diaz. I'm going to use a curse word every other fucking word, you fucking fucks.
Our sponsors are ecstatic.
I'm kidding. I'm a company guy.
That you are, as we can tell from the teal shirt, not a top, but a shirt. And is that a black tie or something, a navy blue tie? I can't tell.
It's a black tie, and if you see carefully, you'll know God is in the details, man.
Wow.
I got myself a $8 tie clip. Actually, it was $8 for 8 tie clips.
That is swank.
Hey, you know, what can I say?
Exactly. So,
like Slick Rick says, I even make construction workers start acting kind of feminine.
Slick Rick. The only thing I remember from Slick Rick is treat him like a prostitute.
Hey, don't treat the girlie well until you're sure of the scoop.
That's right. Exactly. Well said. My only comment on Damian Brown is who names their kid Damien? Don't they know that's the name of evil incarnate? What happened to the Omen?
It's because that's why sales of Rottweilers went through the roof after that movie came out.
Yep.
There was a devil's dog, like Satan would have anything to do with those 4-wheel disasters.
That's
no letters. I used to have one. I loved them. But
I like Rottweiler mixes, but any pure breed dog is just a health accident waiting to happen. So, incest. It's bad for genetics. All right, lightweights. This is the one you're going to care about. Lightweight, Chad Laprise and Ross Pearson. What is he doing on Fight Pass?
You know what? No. You're wrong in thinking I'm going to care about this because this is terrible. What?
Harsh. Ross
well, no, man. This is terrible. This is terrible thing that starts to happen when, let's call it a painting by Van Gogh, the fighter in decline. I mean, it's like, I'm sure there's going to be some offense taken that I've pegged Ross Pearson as a fighter in decline. But look, it's a simple, and we could apply this to everything. If you look at the timeline of your life, I, beyond a shadow of a doubt, can guarantee you that there will come a point after which you will not be any better. Which means after that point, it's all downhill. Yep. I mean, it's gonna come. If it hasn't come already, it's in front of you. And if you haven't really thought about it, it's probably behind you, and you're on the downward slope.
Yep.
I think we've reached that point with Paul Pearson. Now it's just like watching a guy who's got cancer.
That is pretty harsh, but
Did you enjoy his last fight?
No, his last fight, Francisco Trinaldo, unanimous decision loss, was pretty piss poor. Got a split.
And it was really recent. So, you start to see, like, his career is metastasizing, where, you get these guys who, if I were Cerrone, I'm starting to get a little panicky. Man, how many times have I fought? Yeah, I know I said I'd fight a lot, but I got it. The fuel that burns brightest burns fastest. I see. Fuck this. Of course, who wants to be Major Tom? Out there with Alexander Gustafsson just floating around, trying to get a hold of Houston. Fuck it, man.
Or Vegas, as the case may be. Yeah.
Or Vegas.
So you actually knew who somebody was, and you still didn't care. I care about Ross Pearson and Chad Laprise just because of, I guess, vestigial habit. I concur that Pearson is on the downward slope. He's won and lost every other fight for the past 2 years. And hasn't really beaten anybody that good in that
So
period.
I'm not caring for strategic reasons, man. It's like, if I want something depressing to have happen to me, I'll watch fucking the Disney Channel. I don't need this. So
The Disney. What's so depressing about the Disney Channel? You miss Miley Cyrus when you tune in?
Oh, man, it's just this is the apex of fucking human culture in the year 2016.
I see. So the Disney
the famous Nazi lover and fascist Walt Disney. This is what it's all come to. Little Mermaids and dancing preteens. Yeah, man.
I actually don't even know if I have the Disney Channel, but
they're gonna create a Peanuts character named after me. They're gonna call me Crappy. And no matter what scene, Crappy like kind of saunters in and then just introduces fun facts like that to just kind of bring you down. At the end of it, everybody looks at him and they go, "Oh, that Crappy." Or alternatively, "Oh, that's crappy."
Oh, that's crappy. I like that. I think there might be something to that. All right, so we'll move right along to the 4-fight prelim card on Fox Sports 1. Welterweights Richard Walsh and Viscardi Andrade.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. Sorry, guys. All right, now we've got women's bantamweight Leslie Smith and Rin Nakai. Do you remember Rin Nakai?
I do.
The oversized, under-skilled Japanese MMA / negligee fighter.
Negligee fighter?
Well, she's posed in a lot of negligee.
I remember this. I remember this.
Although I don't find her attractive.
Not at all.
It's a very strange. God bless her, though. I don't want to insult her or hurt her feelings by saying that the hot pictures disturb me deeply, but they do. Sorry.
Hey, man, I'm not about hot pictures in regards to fighters. So
Yeah.
I kind of felt my resolve slipping with a Felice Herrig, but I just don't, whatever. Then she's being a fighter for me.
What was slipping? Your what slipped?
Resolve.
I don't know. Rin Nakai reminds me. Do you remember the Butthole Surfers Rembrandt Pussy Horse album?
Yeah, I do. Great record.
It is a great record. A little spotty. I think that could have been better with some editing.
Not as good as Brown Reason to Live, yes, but I got you.
No.
Brown Reason to Live, about which I said when I heard it on a demo cassette, these guys are great. Too bad they won't make it with that name.
Your career in rock management, the Beastie Boys, the Butthole Surfers, so many bands have you to thank for ending their careers, getting the word.
Ending their careers on a exceedingly high note. That is them being able to laugh. Remember when that idiot Eugene said we'd never make it?
And then they go, Eugene who? All right. So do you care about Rin Nakai?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I care.
As much of a Japanophile you are, you can't tell me you really care about this fight.
I do care. Just the freak show element.
So you're going to break your neck across the broken beer bottles on your living room floor to get on the couch and to watch this.
I'll be watching anyway. And, the more I focus on the fights, the less I have to pay attention to the wife and kids. in the house.
Oh, that's
So,
tasty. That's nice. You just out jujitsu'd me on the depressing life sweepstakes.
indeed. I can shut my office door, tune into the sporting world, and my sworn duty to cover it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I care, but only in a freak show.
No, man. It's not a care if you sigh. If some woman asks you to have sex with her and you go, yeah, I guess, you're not having sex with her, you know?
No. But maybe we could bring somebody in, a stunt cock, that maybe I'll watch. Maybe I'll just leave in the middle, something like that. We can work something out. There's
a guy just texted me who's watching the show. General rule of thumb: if I remember that you fought recently, but can't offhand remember against who it was or anything about it, I don't care.
That is sage wisdom. But Nakai hasn't fought in a while, and so I care. I believe it's only our second.
Okay, good for you, man. You're up on me. All right.
And now I'm caring, man. I has the feels. All right, now we've got featherweight Dan Hooker and Mark Eddiva, Finland's finest.
Dan Hooker and Mark Eddiva. This is not the king of Finland, so I care about him. But this is not him, so I don't care.
I see. Man, harsh. Now Eddiva's Filipino, not Finnish. What am I thinking?
You said Finnish.
I said Finnish, but I meant Filipino.
Oh my God, why am I listening to you? So no. I mean, the thing is, coming off of 196, it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. It's like the guy who punched out Danzig. I mean, the deal is that Danzig said, you know what, we want to get home to the hotel and go to sleep. So maybe we could play support for us, and the band that was going to play support for us, guess what? They get to headline. And so you can't fall for this. Danny Mariano is a great guy, but, and so he fell for it. And after Danzig played, they started breaking down the stage,
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
It's a professional operation. After Danzig is done, the fans are leaving. So, yeah.
Well, this is the way it would have been completely different. Like, so Danzig pushes the guy, and the guy knocks him unconscious, sort of ruining Danzig's career in a really fundamental way. And
I don't know. I just talked to some people this weekend who saw Danzig recently with Doyle, and they said,
yes, they're doing that Misfits review thing, which is sort of a compelling take, and they're doing it acoustically, which makes it doubly compelling. But
they waited until nobody cared for the big reunion.
Genius in a certain way should keep them in cat litter and cat food. Should keep Doyle with his pro wrestling wife in the chips for a little bit of time. But the reality of it is, I mean, if it were me and Danny Mariano came up to me and was complaining, I said, "Oh, that's terrible." I tell you what you should do. You should go out to the parking lot and talk to the people there about their headlining. That you guys are headlining, and I'm sure they'll come back in to see you.
That was sage advice. That was statesman.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point, the guy understands that you're saying "fuck you," but what's he gonna do? Hit you for no reason? I'm giving you an uncomfortable truth, man, and that uncomfortable truth is that you don't play tonight. Nobody gives a fuck because your name wasn't on the ticket.
There you go. Sage advice. What this has to do with Dan Hooker and Mark Eddiva, I don't know. But
well, he's the king of Finland. We made that mistake, and
I see. Yes, I set you up for a whole shaggy dog tale. But
I then forgot why I started talking.
Yes. Oh well. Well, this is.
You're like the guy who comes down to his friend. You know what that guy said about you at the end of the bar? And then we punch him out. And I come back. Hey, what did you say anyway? And you go, I don't know.
I never knew. I saw him talking.
Actually, he didn't even say anything about you. He thought you had a nice
way. I mean, he looked.
He liked the color of your shirt,
Teal. It's a beautiful. That actually might be turquoise rather than teal. But all right, so now we've got welterweights Brendan O'Reilly and Alan Jouban.
I care.
You care because of Jouban?
Handsome man Jouban. Yeah, I care because of handsome man Jouban. I like how they're trying to position this guy, and then he keeps getting fucked up and ruining their plans.
I don't know that they have anything planned for him, but he occasionally strings together 2 wins in a row, and so. But then they put him in against somebody good, and he loses. So I don't know if Brendan O'Reilly is that person. I
keep thinking of Raging Bull. When Kathy says, yeah, he's a handsome kid. I don't know, he's handsome. So you think he's handsome? No, I mean, he doesn't look. He doesn't. Well, you fuck him? Well, hey, come on. And then beats the fuck out of him. You ain't handsome no more.
That's right. Sage wisdom. Again, I have no idea what the connection there is. Maybe it's me.
Jouban the handsome man.
Ah, handsome man.
Am I doing the show alone? What the hell is that?
You are. I had a long weekend. It's
okay.
Yeah, Brendan O'Reilly's 5-1, 2 wins in the UFC, but I don't think he's going to beat Alan Jouban. Maybe he will.
Yeah, he won't. And this is a gift to Jouban.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, so now we're moving on to the big time, the 6-fight Fox Sports 1 main card, beginning with women's strawweight, Seo Hee Ham and Bec Rawlings.
Yeah, I care.
Because of Bec Rawlings.
Because of Bec Rawlings.
All right. And
I'm not picking Bec Rawlings. I'm gonna choose to not pick, but I care.
Choosing to not pick is also a choice, Eugene.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm. You're basically voting for Trump if you don't make a pick in this fight.
Man, oh man. You know, it's so funny to see when the machinery starts to ally against you. You're getting hit on all sides, and you don't believe it's even possible, but it's possible.
The machinery. Ben Carson just endorsed Trump.
Yeah, that was. This is in an effort to confound the machinery, but this, creation of chaos at the rallies. I mean, this is very, very amusing to me. Not so much at the chaos at the rallies, but the breathless media coverage post facto. It's like, man, you know what? Nobody weighs more than Russia, except possibly a billionaire with a bad hairpiece.
I don't think it's a hairpiece. I think it's a comb over.
Yeah, right. I just find it super amusing. I'm not a supporter, but I find it super amusing that the flexibility issue is just not there with the party. It's not part of their thinking. It's not part of their DNA, and they're not able to fucking factor, man. How do you factor? They do not know.
Nope, they do not have a clue what to do with Mr. Trump. So you don't have a clue who to pick between Bec Rawlings and Seo Hee Ham.
I'm not picking. I don't. I mean, this is like, what? Yeah. I mean, has Rawlings impressed you?
No, yeah. And I haven't seen Seo Hee Ham, so I don't know. But here comes one I'm excited about. Let's see what you think. Middleweights, James Huna versus hockey enforcer Steve Bosse.
Yeah, of course I care.
Yes. Now this should be fun, and I'm going to pick Huna.
Me too. Yeah, me too. You get no argument from me on this. Huna is close enough to have had a sniff.
How many times have I made it interesting? How many times have I dinged my record to make it interesting for you? But if I pick, then you just agree with me.
You're just upset about my stunning and sterling track record as of late. If you want me to pick Bosse, I'll pick Bosse. But this makes no sense. This makes no sense at all.
Huna's had Bosse. That's the important thing to remember.
Boy, your ass is gonna hurt if Bosse pulls this out.
Oh, he wouldn't do that to me, Eugene.
Under duress, yes. Okay, I'll pick you, Bosse.
All right, so
which of course it actually is my first pick on the card, right?
It is, and one of your few cares. This card, it's it's definitely got the hangover factor going. But Tehuna's on a 3-fight losing streak. Mm-hmm. That's
You can't back off of this, my friend. See, I got you second guessing yourself. You don't know which way you're going.
I don't, but I'll stick with Huna because Bosse really isn't. I mean, if you had a T-shirt he could grab on skates, then he might be something, but I don't think so. All right, so let's move on. Middleweight, Dan Kelly and Antonio Carlos Jr.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't either. Although Carlos Jr., famous burger stand.
Boy, that's a reach, man.
It's not famous, Carl's Jr.?
It is famous, but we have to go to the fast food this early in the show. We're in trouble.
I spent all weekend driving up and down the Texas Panhandle eating Dairy Queen. So it was.
You know what? They talked about foods that will destroy your DNA, and on that list of foods that will destroy your DNA were Pop-Tarts, M&Ms, and Cheetos.
Pop-Tarts.
I don't remember what the other two were. The list
was
was 5.
The ingredient? Is it the food coloring that?
I don't know, man. It's heavily processed. But the thing is, I didn't pay attention to the other two because I don't eat them. But in a moment of weakness, I'll bust out a Pop-Tart. Comfort food. Also known as ghetto food.
Well, I didn't grow up in the ghetto, but I did grow up on Pop-Tarts, and
I didn't grow up in the ghetto either, but I did have an occasional Pop-Tart.
It's awesome stuff. I was pretty angry when the local Shishi Grocery in my neighborhood switched to health food Pop-Tarts.
Oh, those guys don't know shit.
They got rid of Pop-Tarts, Eugene. They went to off-brand, like some sort of toaster pastry, organic toaster pastries with wheat crust.
Yeah, you know what? And if you leave people will ruin things if you leave them to things long enough.
That's true. It's true. So we don't care about Dan Kelly and Antonio.
No.
All right.
No, I don't give a shit.
Harsh. Lightweight, Jake Matthews and Johnny Case.
Almost care because of Jake Matthews, not quite.
Is there some...
I mean, listen. Let me explain this to you. For those of you who are sitting at home going, I can't believe blah blah. Listen. Let me tell you something. We just saw UFC 196. Can you name any of the other fights on the card other than other than the top two?
Other than the top two.
Yeah, probably not with any. You have to think a little bit.
There was that Japanese kid that opened the Fight Pass. That was pretty exciting. That Japanese kid. That's a qualification. But you know what? You can't remember, and you don't care. Right? I really don't. Let me look back.
So that means that the heavy lifting for your MMA dollar was done by the last two fights. Now it just happens to be that those were the last two fights. You know, when I first saw Johnny Boney Joni, and we need to talk about that, I just realized I've got a good deal of confusion about Johnny Boney Joni, because technically it should be Johnny Boney Jonesy, but I just like the alliterative sound of Johnny Boney Joni.
I see.
His last name is no version of Joni at all.
No,
I'm gonna call it artistic license, but but Johnny Boney Jonesy doesn't give me any fucking pleasure. It sounds like too much like a cute nickname like his girlfriend might give him, Johnny Boney Joni. It's got the extra added kick in the ass of maybe kind of intimating that I don't really know what his last name is. So I'm going to stick to Johnny Boney Joni, even though it's not correct. But when Johnny Boney Joni fought on that fucking card, where he was introduced to UFC fans against Stephan Bonner, that was in the middle of the card, and you felt like you had seen something. So it really is incumbent on every fighter on the card to make it. It's like, Connor and Nate are going to do the heavy lifting, and you think that's okay? No, it's not okay, because nobody remembers you. I watched every single one of the fights in that card exhaustively, and right now, steady recall, I can't pick a single one.
Well, there was Teruto Ishihara's debut, which was exciting. You agree? Although you didn't remember.
So you looked on a computer, you have eyeballs. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm looking. I didn't remember any of them either. I did remember that fight that the kid impressed me at the beginning. But otherwise, forgetting Ilya Latifi versus John Vellante, that's a clear sign of PTSD.
Right, and I picked Latifi to win. Latifi won. I'm a Latifi fan, but I didn't have ready recall. I don't hold it against Latifi, that he fought kind of a slack fight. But, the reality of it is I'm trying to explain to the people who I'm not caring about why I'm not caring. And it's not actually all the UFC's fault.
No. There was lots of pretty bad performances on that card. The Brandon Thatch put on a bad performance against Sierra Baharazada.
Yep.
If you recall.
Yep. That's correct. Bazada was great to watch. But
he was all right, but he was... he basically let Thatch exhaust himself and then dominated him on the ground.
Which is a technique. And then,
it is, although it's not that much fun, but it is.
Corey Anderson, that was a terrible fight.
That was awful. Nordine Taleb was fine, but he was basically fighting a boring fight and allowing Eric Silva to walk into his fists, which it was fun at the end.
Enjoyed it. I enjoyed Eric Silva trying to think outside the box.
And getting clocked.
Yep.
But otherwise, that was
so don't sit at home and judge me for not caring about these undercards, because care or don't care, if it's slack, I'm not going to remember.
On the show. That's what you
What's
should.
That?
They should judge you for eating on the show.
Oh, somebody sent me a link on Twitter with this fucking bodybuilder Richard Penn eating on the air. It's like, you know what? When's he going to send me a check? I invented this eating on the air thing.
Eugene has trademarked it. Part of the overarching patent of the Care Don't Care preview includes Eugene eating on the air and your cat and dog interrupting the show. So if you try to take that shtick anywhere else,
don't.
Don't try it. Don't try it at home. And Eugene, you're warned. If you leave the show and you try this for another network, we'll be watching.
Leave the show.
Exactly.
There's some wishful thinking on your part, buddy. Nate, when the show goes off the air, he's got, Jesus Christ.
Where am I ever going to find somebody that will fill up a whole hour with zero preparation, Eugene? You're gold. You're gold. I'm busy trying to put my kid's bicycle together, and then I have to interrupt that for the show, and I'm ready. It's like, sit down. I know Eugene is going to fill the airtime with non-sequiturs.
Well, you know, and we haven't even gotten any outre sex stories. We're like already in, and we just haven't gotten there. So
no. Although I do have a Texas Panhandle meth house story. So, acquaintance, friend of a friend, has a little meth problem. When you have a little meth problem, he still makes it to his job, but he parties, right? You know. But when you party in my hometown, everybody who parties knows you party, and the rules sort of change. Like if you don't party in my hometown, it's a very square, straight, leave it to Beaver kind of town.
Right.
But if you party, if you partake, then things
it's like a David Lynch movie.
Yes. Once you've peeled back the cover, so dude figures out, like he's not often at home between working, 40, 50-hour week and playing drums in multiple bands. But he does begin to notice that he's hearing a lot of sound underneath his house. And he's occasionally hearing sound up in the attic. And at first he thinks he's got raccoons up in the attic. He goes up in the attic and is like, what kind of raccoon is leaving crack pipes all over the attic? Probably not a raccoon. And so he thinks he's got somebody living in his attic and accessing it under the house. So he boards up the bottom of the house, not realizing he's boarded in the other crackhead who had moved into it, who was squatting on his premises. And the next time he comes home, none of the boarding around the outside of the house he's done has been broken, but somebody has sawn a hole next to his toilet.
Man, I love drug adult thinking. It's great.
Hey, somehow there was a saw underneath the house, and he just cut right through the bathroom floor. But he stayed down there, and so the dude had to get a garden hose and try to flood the guy out. Meanwhile, he figures out the other guy is in the attic, and he starts shooting, and fired several shots before the guy surrendered and said he would move out. So that's my
man, that's great. That's probably the greatest thing I've heard today.
Well,
he should have made common cause with these guys and say, listen, I'm going to give you a list of my neighbors to rob, and you just cut me in a third.
Just cut me in, and then, but you don't want to be king squalor, Eugene. I mean, come on. There's
if they're in the basement, in the attic, I don't see them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I have a basement. I don't even have a basement. There's
it's like that Japanese guy, man, found somebody living in his fucking crawl space.
Have you ever heard of the Spider-Man of Denver?
No.
This is a guy in the 50s who lived in some other people's house for months. He was living in the attic, and they only caught him when the wife went out at night and left the husband behind, because they suspected something. And sure enough, the dude came crawling out of the attic trap door and went to the kitchen and started making some cereal. So, yeah, Spider-Man of Denver. All right. Jake Matthews, Johnny Case, we didn't care.
Didn't care.
And
that's how we got to talking about the Spider-Man of Denver.
That's
how much we did not care.
But now we've got some big doings, because in the co-main event, welterweight Neil Magny and prodigal son Hector Lombard coming back after some sort of suspension for some kind of.
And I love Magny going at it the way he's going at it. He could come in juiced to the gills. I don't give a fuck. I love that, man. I love that. That's nice.
I see. Well, now wait. You're excited about Magny or Lombard?
No, I'm excited about Magny's attitude, Magny's take.
Magny's got tude now.
Yeah, he's got some tude, and he disappointed me in his last outing, but his outing before last, I was
he's riding a 2-fight win streak, both split decisions. So
that's right.
That's how.
Yeah, but one was, seemed
Calvin
real,
Gasol.
and I picked him last time, and he won, so I was happy about it. But I was not so quite sure that was the greatest decision.
Was it fight?
But, you know, Lombard, you know, is there anybody, I could ask Popeye now and he might get a good, is there anybody who doesn't know how to beat Lombard?
You wait for the drug test and then the fight gets overturned.
There's that, or you just wait till the third round, man.
Although dude can kind of amble, and if he touches you, he's dangerous. So
yeah, I know it's tempting. It's tempting to pick him, you know. But of course, I could just be Jedi mind tricking you into picking Magny, so I could pick Lombard, which is my real desire to best you yet again.
You've given the game away, my friend. There's no way I would pick Neil Magny over Hector Lombard.
Oh, okay.
No
I
way,
guess I'll pick Magny then.
Oh, but if you're picking Magny, then See, the good thing with our picks is it doesn't matter about the drug testing because we're not overturning our pick outcomes. The pick outcomes immediately.
They don't give you back. What happens in Vegas if they overturn something? The win-loss stays the same because they're not giving back any cash.
They don't?
Fuck it. I don't think they do.
I don't believe it. I mean, it seems like they should. I mean,
yeah, that would throw the world into a great disarray. It's like if you're betting on tennis, you know, you're going to go back now and say Sharapova, whatever the chick's name is. Oh, I want my money. No. You'll end up like Bad Lieutenant. Hey, cop.
Who bets on tennis, Eugene? What kind of depraved degenerate is that?
Gambling degenerates on top of it. You know, they're guys. I tell you, when I was a kid, we used to take the bucket of condensed water from air conditioning units in suburban Maryland, tip the bucket over, and bet on the rivulets of water. Which would make it first?
That is jonesing for some action.
Yep.
Or Joni-ing for some action.
Johnny Boney Joni for action. So.
Joni Boney Joni. So now let's get this
straight. I'm enjoying his act as of late. Like I said on Knuckle Up, I'm really enjoying it. I'm
actually kind of worried about Daniel Cormier's health.
Yeah, so am I. But you know what? The thing is, you know, I mean, he's a belt holder, and he got there for a very specific certain set of reasons that may well indeed conspire to favor him again post facto fighto.
I see. So you're suspecting there was a possibility John Jones makes some sort of mistake in his pre-fight training?
I don't know. I mean, it's 27. It's hard to get your head around. And a preacher's kid might be a little bit hard sometimes.
I see. You think he's a bad
my spies are not telling me. Not talking. He said the guy hasn't changed his associations. They're not talking about any illegal drug use, but the tippling is not typically a problem if you're okay with Uber or Lyft. But if you insist on driving your Rolls Royce, then you might have problems.
Or your rental car, as it may be.
Correct. That's right.
The case may be. Well, you know, when you stay over at a friend's house after a party, sometimes you have to jump in your car early in the morning and get away and have a few hits of reefer and carry around a large amount of cash.
He was carrying the cash to purchase the reefer earlier.
Exactly. Have you watched Baskets, the Zach Galifianakis thing on FX?
Galifianakis? No.
Galifianakis. I highly recommend it.
I think he's very funny, but every time I watch him, I go, man, that guy's rich. That guy's richer than rich. Man, he's so fucking rich. And he's telling jokes and he's doing funny things. And I go, hey, yeah, that's about as funny as how rich you are.
So you're probably not going to go see Robert Plant when he plays at South by Southwest this weekend then?
No. I played with Robert Plant before. That was great.
Oh, did you really? Where and how?
In Bristol, England at the Blackout Festival. And people go, oh, fuck, it was a festival. You didn't play with it because, no. Oxbow played from 8 to 9. Robert Plant played from 9 to 10. That's playing with Robert.
Right after you. Wow. Did he watch any of your show?
You're just trying to sucker me into a Donna Shalala.
No, I would never do that.
I'm sitting there and I'm playing my ass off. This was the night I knocked this guy out because he thought it was really funny to reach up and grab my penis and testicles and squeeze as hard as humanly possible. So I knocked him out. And later, I know this because the guy went online and left a posting about it, and he had those immortal words in it. I don't know what came over me. But suddenly he thought thought that was a smart thing to do. But I was super excited. I get off the stage and I'm like, man, I just killed it. Fucking Robert Plant. Yeah. I go, where's Robert Plant, man? He goes on now. And they go, oh, Robert? There he is. And I see a helicopter. And it lands, and Robert Plant gets out of it, walks onto the stage to the microphone and starts singing. Oh, of course. How fucking stupid must I have been? He's going to be backstage hanging out for even a minute longer than he has to.
Cooling his heels, watching the show. Sorry, kids.
Yeah, nah, man. I've been doing this shit too long. And of course, when we left, we sat in a traffic jam in the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, our tour bus, and can't this be a better road for the bands? And he got back in the helicopter
and just beats it. Well, that's how it goes. He's a golden god, Eugene, and a plagiarist, serial plagiarist.
Deep.
Yeah. I don't know this for sure, but I was reading the other day that apparently Peter Grant, Jimmy Page sold the Led Zeppelin song publishing catalog en masse before the lawsuits started hitting.
Ooh.
Isn't that slick? That Sony or somebody bought it and then got saddled.
That's some crafty thinking.
That is Jimmy Page, man. Dude's crafty. Anyway, I was going to say Martha Kelly on Baskets is hilarious. She's from Austin, and she's funny. And there was a bit where somehow they ended up at a hooker's house. And she's sort of friends with Baskets the Clown, but not his girlfriend. And the hooker starts getting friendly with Baskets, and she's immediately like, oh, I know he doesn't have any cash. Is there an ATM around here? Like, this character, like, immediately thinks about picking up the hooker tab for the guy. Like,
have you ever spent a lot of time hanging around hookers?
No.
I mean, socially.
I've known a couple gals that got into hooking, but they were down a dark road before they, like, people become junkies or crackheads, and you're kind of like, well, good luck with that. Call me when you get.
Remember when Goebbels walked into that meeting with Hitler, and he not only did he have a caftan on, but he had a huge turban and a chest full of made-up medals and rings and fingers full of rings, and Hitler did a double take, right? So, I knew these hookers they were working out at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco, and I'm just there and hanging out, talking, chatting, and one of them comes in the room and say, "Oh, hi, Dominique," and she walks in, says nothing, picks up my coat, and starts caressing my coat. I go. And finally, after about 30 seconds of watching her caress my coat, I go,
"Was this a members-only jacket, sport coat?"
It was a Brooks Brothers $800 Brooks Brothers overcoat.
I see.
And I go, what are you doing? And she picks up the coat and she takes it to the closet and is caressing it in the closet. And I look at the other hooker who I'm there with, and she just looks at me and goes, like, I don't fucking know what's going on. And then I look closely, and she's got one of her fake eyelashes. It's on her cheek. And I go, oh, I see. This is a party that's gone on too long.
I see.
She said, come on, my buddy's coming over. We got to go hang out. And I was like, nope, I got to go. I just came by, dropped us, say hello. That's it. And
you got your coat back.
I got it fucking red. It went right from my coat. It was making me nervous, right? So
Did you have anything in your coat?
Nah, I didn't. But so I 3 hours later, I'm sleeping. I find this out after I wake up. 3 hours later, I get a call. We've been arrested.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so
let's see. Arrested for?
I think that their friend, the buddy who was going to pick them up, was driving around with a huge amount of weight.
I see.
And the cops pulled him over for speeding. He said, here, quick, put this in your vagina. Yeah, and the cop stopped midway as she, got her pants and she's trying to, it's a bed. How do you explain this?
I don't know.
Nude hyper tampon officer? Nah.
There used to be a joke about the royal family secreting their crown jewels and being robbed. And I think Queen Elizabeth says if Princess Margaret were here, we could have saved the Rolls Royce too. Anyway. Yes. All right.
So as good as my tank joke.
Your tank joke.
Oh, you liar. It was on Knuckle Up. You didn't watch it. All right.
I didn't watch this week's Knuckle Up at all. I just got in.
I should have busted loose with the crazy shit if I known you were not going to watch it.
I know. I'm going to watch it, though, as soon as I get
sure. A day late and a dollar short. Anyway, okay.
Well, you can only do what you can do. But so you're picking Magny. I'm picking Lombard. Is that?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm feeling good. I feel like Lombard, though, might be massively deflated.
I picked Magny and I picked Bosse under duress. Magny or Bosse. So whatever. You might have a good night.
I see.
You might also fly by flapping your arms.
All right. Speaking of flying by flapping your arms, here's the headliner: Mark Hunt versus Frank Mir, heavyweight division.
Yeah, of course.
We care. Yes. Do you have a sad?
Yes, I do.
Because?
Come on, man. Come on.
Because you feel bad for Frank Mir?
I feel bad for both of them, man.
You feel bad for Frank Mir? I don't actually know if I'm
sure Frank Mir is supposed to be a prick and nobody likes him, but, it's like, come on. You know what Frank Mir had to go? When was the last time he fought? Could you look at your...
I'm looking. Let's see. Frank Mir. Frank. Let's see. Scroll. And Frank Mir, boy, he's got a lot of stuff in his Wikipedia entry. He lost to Andre Arlovsky in September of last year after knocking Todd Duffy the fuck out in July.
Yeah, that was nice. So September of 2015, that's the 9th month of the year. So here we are. So 6 months later, he's fighting again. I mean, oh, man. You know what? Did you see? It was great, this Nate Diaz interview on some extra TV, some really mainstream TV. And Nate was doing such a sweet job, such a good job of trying to be like, I'm a normal TV guy. And he didn't say fuck this or nothing. He was just like a nice guy. And they said, well, what about these rumors we hear about you retiring? And he said, you know what? I'm sorry. That's right. Thank you for the correction. I'm sorry. It was not Goebbels. It was Goering.
Of course. I should have caught you on that, but then I thought you said Goebbels, and then you obviously were describing Goering. And I
misspoke. But anyways, he's doing such a nice job, and then she asked him about retiring. He goes, yeah, I think about that. It'd be nice. And then, again, you get these glimpses behind the curtain and stuff to think, man, the life of fucking, mixed martial artists. Think that shit's fun? You think it's fun? You think Frank Mir sits around in September, no work, not knowing if he's going to get work, training every day with no expectation that he's really going to get work? You call over, Joe Silva's not returned the fucking calls, can't find Chuck Liddell or his shoes. With the fuck, you trying to figure out what Matt Hughes is doing and trying to get some answers. You don't know, and then finally they call you and say you got to fight against Mark Hunt. Jesus Christ! So I got 3 weeks to get ready for this now. For what? I'm beating my head. And how much you gonna pay me for? $70,000? Great. Now I can pay for my kid to go to 3 months of college. Great.
But with that Reebok money.
Oh, the big Reebok money, and they give him a sweatshirt. That comes in pretty handy at those cold Las Vegas nights. Man, It's a tough life if you think about it. And now, what are they saying? They said that somebody was telling me about Rory McDonald, or I read a Bloody Elbow this morning about Rory McDonald thinking
his contract.
Hey, man, yo, bro.
He wants
You mean I could actually make $1 million? Yeah, come on. Matt Mitrione is fighting the Bellator now. It's like, I got to eat, man. It's like, like to quote the Bad Brains, why is the rich man hoarding all the money? My living, it ain't very funny. So
I see. So you're expecting us to feel sorry for Frank Mir because he's poor.
Well, he's richer than me, and I feel sorry for me.
I see. We know you feel sorry for me. He's not
as rich as Mark Zuckerberg, and I don't feel sorry for Mark Zuckerberg. So on the continuum between me and Mark Zuckerberg, I have more feels for Frank Mir than I have for Mark Zuckerberg. So
well, yes. I think most can agree. But between Mark Hunt and Frank Mir, you got to have more feels for Mark Hunt.
Man, Mark Hunt stories. I can't even think about it. I can't even really think about it.
Yeah.
Fucking with his father. And, in my mind, I got Hollywood has framed my mind and my entire existence so that, I got into an argument with my guitar player the other day. And I said,
You got in an argument with your guitar player.
Imagine that, right?
I know.
He wrote 2 words. He foisted 2 words in the song on me, just us. And I go, man, I hate that. It just sounds stupid. And he goes, well, give me something that, you know, it feels has the same number of syllables or the same rhythmic pattern. And I go, why don't you use I know? And he goes, great. The other night at practice, he goes, you know, since I wrote those words, I know, I want 50% songwriting credit. I go, you have songwriting credit. You were the composer. He goes, no, I'm talking about lyric writing credit. I go, how many words are in that fucking song? And you wrote 2 of them, you think? No, I did. I was at my kitchen table and my cats, and those words came to me. I go, I scribbled it on your lyric sheet. I know. I came up with it. He's like, well, still, you know, I go, okay, what does it mean in the context of the song? What does it mean? He goes, well, I don't know. It's just more sort of a rhythmic thing. I go, so it's not even a fucking lyric if you don't know what it is. I can tell you what all my lyrics are. And he goes, well, I go, if you push this through, you'll make me angrier than you've ever made me. You know, I'm telling you that now. I said, you can pull my lyrics from the song and you can pull my vocals from the song and it'll be your song 100%. But if there are words on that, I get 100% of those words. And then he's like looking for cover, and the bass player and the drummer were like, hey, what about our percentages for the composition? And that shut him up. He's like, okay, I'll concede. Come on, I got to deal with this shit. Come on.
Musicians fighting about business.
Well, it's Oxbow. What are we talking about? 75 cents? You know, you want to impress your wife, do some push-ups in the fucking kitchen or empty the garbage. Don't try to rob me of my fucking credit, you know?
Well, you know, that's what they say about fights in academia. Why are the fights so vicious? Because the stakes are so low. So,
there you go.
Mark Hunt, Frank Mir, we care.
We care.
Has we picks?
Well, look, there's not a single person watching right now who, if they see a path to victory for Frank Mir, it has to do with submissions. You know, the question is, can Mark Hunt sufficiently seduce Frank Mir into testing his stand-up skills long enough to knock him the fuck out?
Quite easily, I think, because Mark Hunt's getting tougher to get down. Mir's not a great wrestler.
No, Mir's
but
not a
they're
great
both
wrestler.
so diminished from what they used to be that it's hard to predict. It's basically going to come down to.
I feel like I'm actually doing a bad thing by picking. I think I'm contributing to the delinquency of elders.
I see. Well, you know, we're promoting. The whole show is to promote this fight. So
no, I'm fine making a pick, man. But and I tell you, you know, again, this could be 0-sum for me. But I'm gonna have to go with Hunt. You know, I can't. You know, I've said before, there are only 2 types of people who have real problems in life. You know, those people with terminal illnesses and those people who've endured sexual molestation as children. You know,
what about people living in war zones?
You know what? Those are difficulties, man. You know, you can get the fuck out of there, whatever. You know, I mean, it's I don't honestly, no, the heart's not going out to them. So
that is hard-hearted.
Difficulties, man. There's sometimes intense difficulties. I'm not saying it's on par with a parking ticket, but I'm saying it doesn't stand up next to terminal illness or child sexual molestation. Sorry.
I see. Yes.
There have been people gotten out of war zones. They say, you know, I never really think about it. You know, I met some people in Croatia who were like, yeah, it was kind of sticky, but you know.
Maybe they were just talking tough, Eugene. They were crying on the inside. Crying on the inside?
She was not crying on the inside.
I see. You checked? Just kidding. All right, so yeah, I got to pick Mark Hunt too. I cannot pick Frank Mir in this fight. There's just not any way. It can't be done. So yeah, boy, we're excited about this one. It's sad and depressing, and coming at us from Australia on Saturday night.
But you know, this is not accidental, man. 196 gave this fight cover, and it's only the real degenerates that are going to be watching, like you and me. So you know. In other words, is this gonna? If we're looking at the MMA stock market, is this gonna move the needle very much in one way or the other? Not really. You know, no. It's not gonna bring in any new fans. It's not gonna lose any fans. It's just something to do. You know.
Yeah, something to do. Well, that's the fight game.
Bridge to the next fight that you're excited about, which in my mind is probably DC and
And Jones on April 23rd. But in the meantime, before we get there, we got Dos Santos versus Rothwell, which is kind of interesting. That's April 10th.
Well, it's nice to see Dos Santos out of the fucking battalion, but he's not really out of the battalion.
No, he's kind of not Junior Dos Santos anymore.
Yeah. And Rothwell, friend of Knuckle Up, is having a good run.
He's having a renaissance. He's not really Ben Rothwell anymore. He's now a much more formidable mixed martial artist. I saw
him in some wild ass suburb of fucking Milwaukee. God knows why I was there. And he drives up and he walks up. It was like God said that to me. I said, Ben? He goes, hey, buddy. I go, hey, man, I do a show called Knuckle Up. You should be on it. He goes, all right. That's simple.
And you turned on your phone and the rest was broadcasting history.
You got it.
I see. Someday we'll know what you were doing in these. Was it cool ass suburb of Milwaukee?
Strange ass, maybe.
Strange ass.
I don't know.
How strange can a Milwaukee suburb be?
Oh.
I see. It wasn't just strip malls and apartment complexes and Chili's and Olive Gardens?
Yeah, it was that.
Plus strangeness.
Yes.
I see. Well, I'm fascinated. All right, so that's our show. I mean, we cared about a couple of fights. We picked a couple of fights. What more are we going to do? We'll have If I Did It tomorrow. We don't even know what we're going to be talking about, but I bet it's got to do with some Republican primary action.
Yeah, God. How do you go with the fixes in? I mean, the thing is, I still despise Cruz and Rubio so much. Thank God I'm not a Republican, man. The degree to which I hate Cruz and Rubio doesn't come close to how I feel about anybody on the Democratic ticket.
No, Cruz and Rubio are way Rubio.
True believers, snake handling true believers.
I don't think Rubio believes in anything. I think he's a cynical opportunist.
He's a tube top wearing parking lot monkey.
We'll find out tonight if he can win his home state.
By which I mean, he's got his hand on a branch here and his hand on another branch here. Who knows where he's going? I
see. Could go anywhere from there. All right.
Woo! Yes. Youthful indiscretion, buddy. Youthful indiscretion.
Who hasn't been to a few phone parties? I mean, come on. You hear phone party, you put on your trunks, then you're like, hey, where are the chicks? I'm getting rubbed on. I thought there would be chicks here. Phone party. But
they'll be here soon. Just relax.
Just relax. Yes, breathe. Remember to breathe. All right. No, yeah. Well, that was awful. All right, so we'll be back with If I Did It tomorrow. Then Zane will have the MMA Vivisection on Thursday with all your Exactly. Zane and Connor. And then Zane and I will have the 6th round after the show. Eugene will be back on Sunday with Knuckle Up. So give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Eugene, how would one do that?
Ding!
Actually, that's a trick question. That's not how you would do it. That's just how I keep Eugene from pushing any buttons while we close out.
I was just about to push the buttons too. My hands would go into water. So
I know. There's actually a little thumb, and you click that. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube, and you'll get all our shows. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes. You can get the audio without the uglies. So follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, at KidNate. Read Eugene on Aussie.com. Sometimes Vice's Fightland. Are you doing anything for Vice anytime soon?
No, they just did that piece on Oxbow for Noisy, so that was kind of nice. But I don't like the haggling, man. I can't haggle with 5.5 billionaires. I just can't do it. Sorry. Love those guys, but I can't haggle over the cash. I just can't. I get upset, and there's a spilkus and the genectozoid, and then I say things that I regret later. Actually, it's very rarely I say something I regret later, but I'm hurting people's feelings.
Yes. Other people might regret it. All right. So
what's funny is these guys who take jiu-jitsu, they feel fucking fairly confident, They feel really, well, he's only a purple belt and I'm a blue belt. It's like, man, you're making a big mistake if you're trying to factor that into an ass beating.
Yes. Plus EJJ.
You got it, Yes. Some guy lost the competition yesterday. Sunday, and he was like trying to say, well, I tried some EJJ stuff, and that's why I lost my friend. I'm not carrying the weight for that crap. You inexpertly applied EJJ. That's, of course, a loser. You got to be committed to it,
I see. No half-assed EJJ.
No, it's one of those things where part of it is getting the guy so upset he can't think straight, but he's also getting upset for things that are justifiably legitimate, Yes, I have my hand cupped over your nose and mouth. So what?
Yes. Try to get out of it. Do your best.
Yeah.
Do your best.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I'm not doing that to Marcelo Garcia.
When would you be grappling with Marcelo Garcia, Eugene?
6 years ago at Kung Lee's place in San Jose.
Oh, yeah? How'd that go?
Yeah.
He's a little dude, right?
He's a little dude. What do you mean, how did it go?
Did he school you? How badly did he school you? Was it like having a possum climbing on you?
It was like me doing jujitsu with an infant.
I see. And you being the infant.
An infant would have lasted longer.
I see. Well,
due to the flexibility.
I see. I see. Well, that's exciting though, getting to grapple with one of the greats. And
how'd he tap? The first time. You know.
How'd he tap you? How'd he tap you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
There were several ways.
I see. I see. However he wanted to, presumably.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our show. I think I've given all the plugs. Adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene. We'll be back.
Later, man. Bye.
Adios.